Today's objective is functions, parameters, and return values, and we will start with purpose of a function, which is reusable programming code for APCSB. And we used functions in several ways. The basic function we used was whatever the name of the function, parentheses and semicolon to call it, or whatever the name is, and inside parentheses we enter values and semicolon. The simplest function we did was printing onto console, and we used console.log parentheses, the value, and semicolon. And or we use a variable that has a welcome value as gr, and we printed this variable in the console. And when we visualized, we saw that the console immediately run and show what we gave as an input onto the screen, and the variable had the value of welcome, and we use that value to print. Now we will start with how do we define a variable and how do we define a function. So the function logic was function. We will use the function keyword, and we will have some sort of name, and we will have parentheses and curly braces. So this will be my function definition, and when I need to call this, I need to use the function name parentheses to call it. So let's start with the basic, which we call greeting. So we will name this function as greeting, and simply we are going to say welcome to let's say talent show. And when we run this code without referring, so if I have only this, we can see that better in Python tutor. If I, instead of this, I just define a function, and if I call it, you are going to see that the function greeting is defined in the memory, which stores the group of code, but it doesn't run, right? So it is just the storage of group of code, but for it to be run, we need to call it. So we are going to call it by using the name greeting and parentheses to run. And when we run the code, we will see that it will go to that area and print or execute the code. So we can do that here in Python tutor. We will call greeting with the function name and the parentheses. And when we visualize, we need to look very carefully. So the greeting is the name of the function, and when we call, look what happens. It goes to the function, it executes, but every function actually has a return value. You may not see that in UpLab, but it is here very obvious with Python tutor that every function returns a value. So the return value is right now undefined because this function does not return value. And we finish the function. So now that we saw every function returns a value, what if this function actually will return a value, that we will expand the function that returns value? So instead of printing this function, we want to return this value. So we will use greeting, another function. So we will say function, again, the logic is same, function name, parentheses, curly braces, and the code, this function will return a value. So we will say return the value. So let's assume we want to return a greeting with the username. So we are going to name this one is say hi, and it will get some kind of user input. And then what we want to do is we want this user, let's not use the parameter first. So let's say we will have a name, var name equals to Alice. And we want to add greeting to name Alice. So we are going to go here and we are going to say name equal to, which is the global name here. And we are gonna add welcome here, welcome to NJ and plus name. So we are gonna get the name Alice, we are gonna add welcome to NJ, and we are gonna return this name, right? Or we can name this as var greeting, welcome to NJ, the name, and we will return that greeting. Okay, so how do we call this function? We will call it here greeting, say hi. And reset run. And when I run it, as you see, even though I said say hi, it just didn't show me welcome to NJ Alice, right? The issue here, visualization, if you look at in Python Tutor, we will see that Alice actually will return say hi. If you look, say hi returns welcome to Alice. But this value is not stored. So it gives you this value, but when the function return value Alice is not code, which it actually handed you, but you did not store it, you lost the value. So when a function returns a value, you need to store it. So let's store it in var message, and say hi is gonna store the message, and when we reset run and we write here the message, or as you see welcome to New Jersey Alice, or we can print this message. So you can see now we are expecting. We've been using function with return values in several functions like get text or random number. So we want to, when we are writing a function with return value, what we need to be careful is returning the value that we calculated inside the function, and when we call it, store it so that we don't lose it.